Yeah, so it's gonna start fading now. So as we talk,
it gets
quieter.
Lower and lower.
Wow.
Yeah.
Professional, man.
Yeah, you like that?
And who said
you're welcome?
Who said you didn't have it in you?
Katrina did it.
Patreon said it. Is that what you said?
What?
What?
Patreon? Yeah, nobody does a Patreon. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of 9 to 5 Nerds with Robert Swathwood, Corey Urkel,
hi,
and Katrina Swathwood.
Hello.
Sorry, I need to cough. Sorry if I cough in this episode.
Best place to cough.
Okay.
Germs can't be spread from the back.
I feel bad because we're not... First of all, I'm going to try to talk a little lower.
Actively try to talk a little lower.
Maybe just lean back and relax, man.
No, I mean not because I'm sick.
You're a little too high strung.
Not because I'm sick or anything, but because as I was editing last week's episode, it was really.
You're loud and boisterous, and everybody else is like chill.
No, it's all of us. So I figured if I talk at normal levels, it won't be so bad.
What are you talking about?
Well, no, we didn't really prepare for Oscars week this year.
No, we didn't.
It's this Sunday.
Oh, we can whip up a list between us and then cover a post.
Yeah, I mean, we could do a post, but we're not going to be able to do the...
Did we do a pre-one last year?
And I think we
did our picks, and then we went over it afterwards.
I guess we could do that. We could still print out a...
I can do it before he leaves.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do that.
And even so, even if I make my picks, I'll seal it. I won't cheat.
I want you to seal it, and then you need to melt wax onto the envelope, and then you need to press your
tape
ring
on it.
into the...
I take a picture of my picks, send it to a third party, and then I could pull up that text saying, like, here's a date stamp. So I couldn't cheat it.
I don't know.
Time stamp is the reference.
I want a wax.
No wax.
Seal.
I'll do a ball stamp.
Or we can check lists before, no? That they're filled out?
No, I would trust you not to just... If you come over here and every single one's right, then...
All right. I swear I didn't cheat.
I happened to be listening to sports radio for a minute this morning. Or no, on my lunch today. And on sports radio, they had a guy who runs an Oscars podcast. And he was talking about who was most likely to win a couple categories.
What does he do for like 9 months out of the year?
What?
Watches movies. This is going to be an Oscar pick.
He works for ESPN professionally on his own time. He does an Oscars.
Sorry, what does this podcast do for 9 months out of the year?
It's an Oscars and movie awards podcast.
Okay. So he'll cover any award thing. It's kind of...
Well, I don't think it's even just that. I think it's like when movies come out, like, oh, this is Oscar bait. This is like, blah, 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 blah.
Oscar bait.
Yeah. So, do I have tea?
You have tea.
So, wait, you listen to that so you have some insight?
Yeah, I have insight.
See, that's how you win the categories nobody gives a fuck about.
That's...
Foreign documentary.
Well, that's how I won the OJ one last year.
Which one?
The OJ one last year because they said it was the best
miniseries.
Yeah, after the big awards, I'm just guessing. I don't know what's the best,
Well, there's
half of them I don't see anyway.
There's 9 nominations for Best Picture this year, right?
Not 10.
Well, it can be.
Usually...
They expanded it to be up to 10 a few years ago. Or
How do they not nominate 10?
Because they don't have to.
God.
Well, the thing is it's...
Well, why nominate it if you're not going to
Who picks the nominations?
I have no idea.
I know there's a group of people who vote on them, but I don't know who picks the nominations.
Yeah. I mean, she tell me there's only 9 movies this year that are worthy of critical praise. Like, I don't know. I'd like to see the list of what's left off, because then I can make an argument like, what the fuck,
Well, I mean...
But I have no idea this year. What?
You could put Logan up for Best Picture. It's up for Best Screenplay. It's the first ever superhero movie, I think they said, that was up for Best Screenplay.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, that wasn't up. If you were going to just throw one in for 10, why not?
Yeah. I don't know. It seems weird that they can go up to 10, but we don't really have to.
Or maybe they just felt like none of the rest of the pictures qualified to be in there with the other that were already picked.
I heard there's a stigma against movies that make large sums of money. Like Dunkirk's the highest grossing one on the list, and it's at like $500 million.
Yeah. And then commercial backlash.
And then Get Out's the second highest with $200 million. But like Phantom Thread only made like $15 million.
Yeah. The what do they call themselves? The people who vote on it. They like the artsy fartsy movies.
Which is fine. I mean,
The Academy?
Is that what you call them?
Isn't that what they call them?
I know somebody that gets the screeners for all those.
Don't you have to be part of the Screen Actors Guild or the?
He previously worked for Disney, so I wonder if that's why he gets.
Okay.
If you.
He still got his card.
I'd seen something they changed. I think it was for them. I don't think it was for another word assembly. But previously you just had to work in the industry. But I think there's a lot of stagnation. That a lot of old white guys are still voting that are long retired because it's just something that
They do.
they were in way before, which led to not as many much diversity in terms of nomination or wins. But they implemented a couple of rules. The one I remember was if you haven't worked on anything in 10 years or less, you lose your seat.
They did something like that with the Baseball Hall of Fame too, where there was just so many old guys that had stuff against
Minorities or whatever.
not even minorities, but there's people that didn't vote for Tony Gwynn. I mean, he had like 98% of the votes, but they're like, I'm not voting for anybody that played in the steroid era. And it's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
it's
Pure baseball only.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So I don't know how big the pool of voters is between.
I don't know.
That's a good question.
Well, it's not like viewer based, so a lot of times they don't really coincide with what people watched that year or what they really liked, the viewer score, all that.
So The Walking Dead mid-season premiere was on Sunday.
It's only a mid? I thought it was a new.
No. Season premieres is always in October.
So the season premiere was the one I watched with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which was the last episode you watched, correct?
Yeah. I've gotten streaks. This show, yeah, what season is it on?
8?
8.
Yeah, I've probably watched 6.
6 live or 6 total? No, you've watched all the ones up until
7.
No, I skipped like a season.
But you caught up when we started reviewing them, didn't you?
No, I thought I skipped over.
No.
I don't think so. Because I was talking to you about it at work, and you were like, "Oh, I'm at this point. I'm at this point. I'm at this point." Like you were catching up
At one
for the
point,
podcast.
He's given up.
The one season where they had what do you call those doors that spin around?
You didn't watch that?
I watched that. No, I did. I feel like we watched, if not that scene, I watched
That
part of
scene
that
was
season.
tough.
I feel like I didn't watch part of that season.
I think you had to have, because we talked about it on here.
I freaking can't remember though. Is that so? It's just dragging on because we split a half season, so it looked like 16 chunks of time. Or
Wouldn't you be okay with Game of Thrones doing something like that? Even if it was okay, say you had 10 episodes.
I'd be okay with them doing once a season a year.
So say you have 10 episodes, and they used to premiere in April. So you had April, and then it stopped in March, and then in July you had 5 more. Because then in August you would be done and be like, okay, I only have to wait.
I would be happy on the
September, October, November, December,
when
January, February.
episode 5 premieres and there's a cliffhanger. Like fuck.
Well, that's what they do.
But that'd be cool because then you'd get with Game of Thrones, you'd get 2 finales basically that are like monstrous, beefy. I mean, the big spoilsies if you haven't caught up on the season.
I don't know if I prefer that or Netflix just release it all.
I don't like that.
Not a fan?
No, because it deters discussions like this. Like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Well, I know what's going to happen because I watched the whole season.
Yeah. But doesn't it make you happy when, like, oh, I don't have to wait?
I was listening to, and I don't know if this was accurate, but I was listening to an interview with Bob Odenkirk about the first or second season of Better Call Saul. And you can watch it here weekly, or you can binge it on Netflix when it comes out on Netflix. But that was only in the USA and Canada. Netflix and all the other countries, it came weekly. So you could watch the new episode the day after it aired weekly.
Okay. I've never seen that on Netflix.
Yeah, I haven't either. But I wonder if
style?
that's just other countries type stuff.
Yeah. We have to wait and get it all in one lump sum.
I mean, we never sit down and watch an entire season in one sitting. I mean, even like a Stranger Things will take us like 2-3 weeks to watch.
Yeah. I won't do like a 6-hour session, but 3 episodes would probably be the longest.
But I do like the, oh my god, did you see what happened yesterday? Like type of thing for like a show that everybody watches.
Yeah.
And sorry, I don't have it as much anymore, but I mean, one of the guys at work watches Walking Dead.
So you had that?
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit. In
the Carl pass?
Yeah. I mean, well, I said spoilsies already. So the mid-season finale was Carl got bit. And this episode goes back to when he was bit, and then like all the stuff he tries to take care of before he goes. Like it wasn't an episode just dedicated to Carl because it had different things going on in the episode as well. But it was like he took some time to spend with his sister because Michonne and his dad, a bunch of people were gone. So he didn't know when they were going to be back. So it shows him writing letters to everybody and like writing the name Dad, Michonne, just different people he's writing letters, goodbyes to because he doesn't know when he's going to see him. And him taking they have a Polaroid camera and it's him taking a picture with his sister and like he ends up rescuing the whole town of Alexandria as it's getting like destroyed.
Before he got bit?
Oh. No.
After he got bit.
Oh, okay.
He got bit helping a guy that he was trying to save. Him and Rick ran into a guy near a gas station. Rick basically tried to kill him, and Carl lets him go. Yeah. And so Carl goes back to find him to bring him to Alexandria. Yeah. And he gets bit in an interaction while they're trying to leave the gas station.
Okay. And then, so in this episode, Alexandria in danger, and he...
Yeah, the Saviors finally make a run.
They roll up in mid-episode and start attacking Alexandria, and he leads everybody down to the sewer. Or whatever it's supposed to be.
And I gotta tell you, is as bad as Carl was early on, like it was like, Carl, stay in the house. Carl, do this.
Stop
Carl, do that.
Carl.
He turned into a really good character. And the interactions between like him and his dad and Michonne and Daryl in this episode were like heartbreaking. Like they did it really, really well. And you have your detractors online who are like, nothing happened.
Carl died.
It was too long.
Happened.
You get that with everything.
Yeah,
Black Panther didn't have enough action.
Exactly. But I loved how this episode was done. I really liked it. It was a really cool send-off. Very, very emotional to the point where I was like, really? Like, it was sad. Like, it was genuinely, like, it wasn't Coco sad.
Yeah. But you lost a season 1 character.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I even got, like, I didn't cry. Katrina cried.
Oh, yeah.
It was like that. But I got a little choked up when it's like a father talking to his son while his son's on his deathbed, and it was a really good interaction between Andrew Lincoln and Chandler Riggs. Like, they hit it out. It was really good.
Did he turn? Or was that off camera?
No, he killed himself.
With what?
A gun.
A gun.
Really?
He said he didn't want to have anybody he cared about basically do it,
kill him.
and then he would do it himself.
Did he walk off somewhere and do it?
No.
Or did he do it
he was getting worse and worse and worse and worse with the fever during the episode. And after an interaction between Rick, Michonne, and him, he was laying in a church, and they went outside. And you hear the gunshot. So it was really pretty damn cool. I liked it a lot, and I'm very interested to see, because in the comics, and you have a lot of people that complain. I've never been one of the people, other than Dale, in the show. I've never been one of those people that's like, oh, well, it's this way in the book. Why is it this way in the show?
Yeah,
I like minor changes and even major changes because it keeps you guessing and not knowing
what's going to happen.
You don't want to know exactly what's going on because then it's not a surprise.
Did you think he was untouchable for a long time? Him and Rick.
Yes,
like, you couldn't kill him because they are them.
At this point, honestly, I think Rick is the only one that's untouchable.
Yeah.
Oh, but my favorite... did you see the Old Man Rick? It was at the end of the season premiere. It showed like a... So in this episode, it's slowly doing more flashes of that. And it's like Rick with his beard, and he's walking through, and he sees Eugene, and Eugene hands his daughter an apple and stuff. And it's going on and on and on. And finally... You find Carl says, I've seen the future. I know what we can be, and it's his dream, not Rick's dream, of what Alexandria could be like.
He starts describing to his dad like what he sees,
what
his dad looks like.
Yeah, what he wants things to be like, and it's a really touching scene because it goes on and on and on, and at the end of the dream, the last part of the dream, the little girl is walking through and somebody's farming, and it turns around and it's Negan, and it's like, hey sweetheart, how's it going? And it's like anybody can be redeemed type of thing. But it was a really cool
toss back.
It's a really cool nod to the book a little bit, and the story arc of Negan showing that anybody can.
Yeah, were they showing those flashes all last?
No, they just showed the one. Didn't they?
Because that was an episode I saw even.
Yeah, that was the season premiere.
Okay.
Because he wakes up and everybody sees his face.
And they had never covered it since. Were you?
No.
Huh. That's fine.
But it was really neat, kind of.
Because didn't they last go through down to where he sees Michonne in the kitchen? I think that's where they stopped.
No, they showed Michonne in the kitchen. They showed Rick in the living room, and they showed like a couple other characters. It wasn't much, but it was just in the house.
Right.
But this went through like Eugene, who's part of Negan's crew right now. It showed him. It showed, and the part where they showed Negan, I was like,
yay.
I was excited. Like, hopefully, you know, with Carl basically showing his dream, you know, that's what's going to convince Rick to.
Well, because just imagine
to play out the way you want to play out.
Yeah.
Which is what plays out in the comic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's such a good story arc, and that's Jeffrey Dean Morgan wrote this huge thing for Chandler Riggs about how he's part of the reason he wanted to come on the show was because of the relationship between Negan and Carl in the comics and the weird thing that they have, and that he thought Chandler Riggs was such a good actor. He wrote this really heartfelt like goodbye, and that stinks. I mean, that's their relationship in the book was a really cool.
I agree. They're choked up. It's okay.
Well, no, it's
okay, Robert.
Sorry.
It's a little emotional.
I'm so emotional right now.
He's so emotional. No,
I get you.
It's because they both grow. Because they first meet and they're both butting heads, and he's trying to kill Negan, and he basically kind of pulls him back and tries to get his dad to buy in that it's okay. Like, he's not going to be horrible forever, and he's part of the reason why he wants to leave, or I thought when I'm reading the comic that he wants to leave his dad and go to a different community, be on his own.
It's going to be a weird noise for a second.
For a guy who's ever read it, and I'm way behind the show, I would be hard to convince that Rick could do a 180 and take in Negan based off that also.
Well, he just lost his kid. I forget what happened.
After you see Glenn get his head bashed in, and
they deal with that in the comic too.
Yeah, and
with Maggie and all that.
It comes a point where he's got to decide, because it was what was the rule? If you kill, you're killed. Like, and there has to be something afterwards, and that was the whole reason why they built the jail to put Negan in there to punish him versus just killing him. Because if you kill him, someone else is going to rise up. Someone else is going to be there. There has to be an antagonist.
I think he was just trying to rebuild society. I mean,
right. At what point do we start to actually rebuild our community as opposed to just trying to survive?
Yeah. But Negan was doing it with a tyrannical type dictatorship.
Absolutely. He was the far extreme side.
But I mean, from a different perspective, Rick's doing the exact same thing. I mean, he's killed a lot of people. Like, a lot of people.
If you're not with me, you're against me.
Yeah. How many people has Rick killed that basically innocent? Any?
Who's innocent?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, a doctor who Negan fucking threw into a furnace. I don't... Negan's killed... I don't know. Glenn was innocent.
I
mean, I would say, like, whenever Rick's killed, at least, the one time that it was ambiguous was, like, when people walked into the bar with him and Herschel, and he fucking gunned him down.
That was a cool scene.
It was, although it was slightly not ambiguous, but it was, because he fucking had no contact with, like, he talked to him for, like, a minute.
In the prison, in the comic book, Rick just shot somebody in the side of the head. So, I mean...
Yeah.
I mean, he just murdered somebody, and they go over that in the book, too. So, I mean, I know a lot of show fans that don't read the comic. If Rick doesn't decide to kill Negan after all this, they'll be like, I'm done watching. Then when it comes back on, they'll be watching.
Well, right. It's just, it'll be a funny turn, one way or the other. Unless they devote a whole season to him coming to grips with it or whatever. It'll never seem like...
I think this whole second season is going to be that.
Well,
that's how... This was the catalyst. This is what's going to push him in that direction.
Well, it's like the time jump in the comic. Like, Negan's in jail that entire time. And we're talking, like, years and years and years. Not just, it's, been 3 months.
I wonder how
long it was. So, because the last time you see him, Rick in the book, he's pretty much short beard. Time jump happens, and he's got this huge freaking beard, and he's got a cane, and it's ridiculous. I would have to at least guess it was like 10, 15 years he was in there.
I was wanted to say they said it was 8, but
I would say time would make you forget that pain more than Just
he's still trying to get out at that. Like when there's a group of people that stumble upon him in jail. And
it's over 2 years. It doesn't say specifically.
Well, then Rick aged horribly over 2 years.
Zombie apocalypse will do that to you.
I guess so. Broken hip.
It's like being president for 4 years. You come out looking
drained, like a vampire sucked you dry.
Yeah.
But no, it's... I'm wondering... I'm most curious to see what happens when Negan finds out Carl's dead.
Yeah, I think he's going to be pissed off.
That's going to be an interesting conversation.
Even though they didn't have a huge relationship in the show, there was that time where, he hid away and he went back to the sanctuary and killed some guys, and Negan actually likes him. So, I mean...
Because I think he's going to ask to talk to Carl when he rolls up.
I think he's going to be pissed off.
And he's going to have to, Rick's going to tell him that he's dead. He's not going to believe him.
His transformation in the book is so good. I mean, it is from issue 100 to issue 170, whatever we're on. It is a really good turnaround. I like it a lot. I mean, I can't believe it's been that long now. He's been around for a long time.
He's still there. No one's killed him. They want to.
I'm trying to think.
That'd be a day.
Well, Maggie wants to kill him.
But she won't. She won't do it.
Because she'll listen to Rick.
Oh, in the show?
No, in the book. She had the guy draw on a map where he was because she wanted to go see where he was.
Have you read the most recent issue?
No, I haven't.
No, it's already passed. You've already read the issue that gets resolved.
No. She goes and sees him, right?
Yeah, that's done. That's it. If she didn't kill him then, she's not going to kill him at all.
Okay. Doesn't mean she don't want to.
No, that doesn't mean she doesn't want to. I mean, when it comes down to it, you get the kind of feeling, and when you're reading the book, that Negan, after seeing how things can be, truly regrets how he was. So it eats at him, so he wants to die, but he can't bring himself to kill himself.
Because he's a coward. Because
he's a coward when it comes down to it. Even though, I mean, as far as being a coward, like, he can go out and kill
a bunch of people,
a bunch of zombies, whatever.
Yeah.
But when it comes to himself, he won't do it.
But Carl will.
Carl and Negan in the book are like buddies. Like the whole time Negan was locked up, Carl would go to him and talk to him and get advice from him, and so I mean, it really was a...
Is that weird to hear?
Yeah. Sounds like trouble.
Sounds like trouble. Well, Carl's kind of a rebel. Doesn't really follow suit.
Oh, that feels good.
Nice hot tea.
So that's this week's episode.
Opinion over.
Yeah, so that's the season premiere was really good. And like I said, I saw a lot of complaints.
Did you see a score on it anyway?
I didn't. Let's look.
What a score?
Well, I mean,
what do they know?
Yeah, it's a weird thing to score individual episodes. Because, like, well, this episode had only but if it advances, like, character development in the overall scheme, forego the, required, like, one scene of zombie gore that has to be inserted into every episode.
What was the zombie?
There was that.
It was actually pretty good. I remember it.
There was one on the ground that was, like, really...
They obligated to have to show zombie every episode because it's basically in the title.
Well, The Walking Dead isn't the zombies.
It's the people.
It's the people.
They call them walkers.
No, I know. But The Walking Dead, like, they're dying. Like that was. I think that was always the the nod was it wasn't referencing the zombies, it was referencing the survivors.
Maybe so.
Like Dead Man Walking.
I see it as a clever play. Although you ask anybody about the show, what's it called about? Oh, it's about the band that's walking the earth, though.
It's not about the zombies at all. I don't think anybody would think that it was about the zombies. It's about the people.
Wait, so
in the show.
If you ask anybody,
oh, you mean what The Walking Dead is referring to?
Yeah.
Yeah, anybody who watched the show would say the dead.
Yeah. I think you have to be a thinking person to say...
A thinking person?
Well, that's like a clever play on words.
8.5 was IGN.
Oh. That's respectful.
Well, I mean, other than the fact that there's a last page in one of the big books where Rick screams out, "We are the Walking Dead."
Okay.
So, I mean,
there's
that.
Yeah. That's like in a movie when they say the title of the movie in it. And you're like,
there's a Family Guy thing on that said, what if every movie... What was it? No. Maybe it wasn't. It was on some cartoon where it was like, what if the movie ended every time they actually said the title of the movie?
That was like a YouTube video. It was like, you are the Lord of the Fellowship of the Rings. And then it cut to credits immediately. You know. He has Total Recall.
See? It really was the end of an issue.
That should have been the end of the series.
Over.
Yeah.
Why is this in color?
I don't know.
I don't like seeing it in color.
I don't either. I like it in black and white.
Can you go and recolor all the issues?
No.
They did that at some point. There were some colored issues.
And you're like, what is this garbage?
Does it really throw it off? Is like watching black and white movies that have been recolorized? All the colors are weird and too...
I only ever saw... wasn't Wizard of Oz in black and white? And they...
Well, the beginning's in black and white.
No, I know the beginning is, but what I thought... When I was a kid, at least, I thought that they were like... they had updated it.
Isn't that when Technicolor came out?
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah, it was in both, and that was...
No, it was like the unveiling of color.
Yeah, and there's a cool thing about that scene. They go like, do a cool camera trick where she opens the door within black and white or sepia tone.
And it's all color.
And then the camera like follows her, and then she steps out of frame, and it goes through and it's pure color. And then she walks back in the frame in color. It's because they painted the house sepia color, and got a stunt double actress, painted her that color. And she stepped out of frame and real Judy Garland walked in. So I don't know how I never thought about it as a kid. But they had Technicolor back then, but not all movies made the same year were in black and white. So
yeah.
It didn't really 100%
cost money.
Cut over. Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, it's any new technology.
I'm sure even all the theaters probably didn't have the technology to play it. Yeah.
Projectors.
It's just like any other new technology.
TV shows like what was I Love Lucy black and white back in the day? Mm-hmm. That was that was after that. So TV didn't catch up. Took a while. But it had color. How do we get on that point? Oh,
Walking Dead, black and white, and color.
I've seen some Three Stooges. I would say recolorized. So people just go in and they like special effects people, and they add color in based on what. I don't know if you could digitally tell what the color would be if it's sepia, or just assume it's one of these two tones and you make a call. But when you watch a recolor or anything like that, everything seems a little
off,
slightly distorted, but not enough that it's. You'd have to know it was recolored, basically. But it's like those people have really rosy cheeks, or But that's to be honest, the only thing I think I've seen like that.
So Walking Dead was good.
Yeah. No.
So was
Ash.
Ash
Ash.
versus Evil Dead.
Oh.
We watched the season premiere. Excellent.
Yeah.
Really good.
Excellent. That show is so good.
And it knows how to end an episode.
Yeah, it really does have some of the best endings on episodes. And you're just like...
That was good.
That was really good.
That's cool.
It's such an enjoyable show. It's crazy
fun.
that this is the third year and you haven't watched.
I don't have stars. It's on
Netflix.
There's 2 seasons.
And you own the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, I have. Now I'm just going to wait, though. Well,
for what?
If I watch 2 seasons, then I can't watch the third one until it comes out on DVD. I'm like, oh, wait. I'll buy it. I won't watch it.
But, I mean...
That's a lot of fun.
I'm still behind the other shows.
Yeah, but if you watch... Then the third season come out, and the fourth one will be about to come out, and you'll be like, well, I'll just wait till
that one's out.
Yeah, well, I assume at one point it's going to end.
I'm going to wait till the show's over, and then I'll watch it.
I have no problem
And you love
with
this
that.
series, though.
Yeah, I do.
It's so weird that you're not...
But I have other things to watch. Say I caught up on everything. I would watch it.
What are you watching right now?
How can you possibly catch up on everything? There's just too much content.
I agree. That's the problem.
What are you watching right now?
That's new.
Nothing new. I'm watching.
You already finished Lord of the Rings?
Yeah. Oh, it's so funny. Her family has only ever seen The Hobbit. So the last week, they're fucking going crazy watching Lord of the Rings.
Her whole family watched it?
Yeah. So I've been around a couple days where they're watching it. So, for one, they watch it in Spanish, obviously. So some of the discs, they have it. I think on Netflix, it's just subtitled, but I lent them 2 and 3. And so they had only ever seen The Hobbits. I don't know. I guess they never knew Lord of the Rings came out. I don't know if they're in Texas or where the hell they were.
They don't have Lord of the Rings in Texas.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I have to go.
Everybody knows that.
I don't speak the language exactly, but I understand just what they're talking about. They always make fun of. They call BB's nephew Precioso, or they make fun of him like they say he looks like Gollum or something, and they just repeat that. But they've only ever seen him in The Hobbit, so they don't understand I like the whole thing. So her brother walked out of the room when he finished watching. I think it was yesterday, the day before. He was telling BB translated, but they're super sad that Gollum died, and
that's funny.
He was like, he said he was about to cry at the end of the movie from all the shit that happened. I was like, dude, that's fucking awesome.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Anyway, I was just being a translator.
So they're watching Lord of the Rings. What are you watching?
Nothing.
Movie. I'm just showing BB stuff. I'm going to start Marvel pretty soon.
See, he's not watching anything.
No. Show-wise, next thing I wanted to watch was The Punisher.
That's a good call. I mean, Jessica Jones comes out in like a week and a half.
Next week?
Yeah. So, I haven't got around to it. When I have free time playing Neo.
When I have
Still,
free
you said you beat it.
I beat it. They have a cool... I told you I like the New Game Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Most New Game Plus I don't like too much. Like, when's the last time you played a game that carried over your stats or something? Like,
well, I mean, Diablo.
Yeah, I guess that game was made for... Because it has, like, 4 modes, and every time...
There's so many modes in this one.
Yeah. Like, I remember, like, Dead Island had a New Game Plus, and... Fuck, you had to beat, like, 3 times before you max leveled. I remember not being a fan of that. Played it 1.5 times. Dead Space, I remember, like... Not being able to upgrade everything the first playthrough, I was disappointed. I was like, I'm not doing it again. But this game, like Neil, I know I get to the point where I feel like supremely powerful, and then I'm introduced to a new game mode, and it's fucking more challenging. I'm like, fuck, this is like, you hear a lot of shit about Dark Souls being super hard and like unfairly so, like instant death. I feel like Neo is not unfair at all, and if you're good at it, you can be badass. So.
That's like the feeling I would get in Fallout 4 when you got to a certain point and like you'd see something you were searching through and you'd be getting shot at and you just don't care because they're not going to kill you.
You reach an omega point.
Did you ever get to the point in Fallout where you could shoot through walls?
I can't remember.
I only ever used the what is it, the Whisper? It was like a 10mm silencer.
The handgun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ended up using it through the whole game because my what was it, AP?
Yeah.
That would build up.
You get 12 clicks.
I could get 12 shots.
And still have AP left over.
And then I got the perk where you could shoot through walls. So it was basically just, I was just like, fucking just, it didn't even matter anymore.
Yeah. Like 200 hours in that game, you fucking god.
Although there was a point where I fought a Mirelurk Queen.
And they could fuck you up.
And a Death Hunter. Or Death Claw.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Death Claw's in that game where they fucking upped it up a notch.
Yeah, but I still killed him with the 10mm. Yeah. We're watching. We just finished the 2nd season of Peaky Blinders last night.
So good.
It was a really good season.
Did you finish Mordor?
Yeah, I beat it.
Okay. I don't remember.
With like 100 and something hours.
Is there a new game plus in that?
I mean, you don't start over. You can do more quests. You can
play in the open world again still. I guess how open world games kind of are.
I thought about going and doing some of the stuff because I did a lot of the extra stuff.
But not all?
No, because some of it I was just like...
I feel like I'm obligated to open world. Like Assassin's Creed, 90% of the time I do everything before I finish a game.
I don't get that feeling.
I don't know why. It's OCD. I don't know. If there's a mission in there and I haven't done it, I beat the game, I feel like I've missed content. Is that a weird feeling?
You're not getting all your pennies worth?
Yeah, well, like, I could have
those things are
cool
specific.
Mission.
I mean, a lot of those are specifically created for trophies nowadays.
What do you...
Collect all these feathers.
Oh, yeah. No,
do this,
I'm not a super fan. Like, in some of the newer Assassins, I didn't finish all the collection trophies because then you could collect flags, feathers, dog tags, dick.
I think there were 5...
I hated when I had to collect the dick.
I think there were 5 cities in Mordor. And each one you had to collect a certain amount of artifacts, a certain amount of some other thing. You had to do all the Shelob memories, and then you had to do all of the Celebrimbor memories. I probably did half the Celebrimbor memories. I didn't really have any interest in the Shelob memories. But the other stuff, I collected everything because it got you legendary armor.
That's fine.
And then once you got sets, you got like bonus stuff. And I did some of that, I did a lot, but I didn't do it all.
There's some games that have collectible overkill, and it just becomes a drain on fucking time and energy.
You alright over there?
Oh, this fucking sinuses. It hurts.
Put a nice warm cloth over your face.
That last cough really fucking...
Headache.
There was one challenge at the end of Neo I don't want to do is, well, there's 2 sets of them where, I'll explain. There's some bosses, early in the game, it was the first, like, 4 or 5 levels, it was fucking horrible. The bosses took 10 tries each. It fucking took hours to beat when I played it. And then it got easier. You unlock more spells and whatever. But
is she watching you play this?
No, not usually. Occasionally, if I wake up and I start playing and she wakes up, she'll watch me beat the level. But there's something just combined, basically, at a harder degree, 2 bosses in 1 fight. And they fucking don't let up. It's just basically 2 bosses where one fucks you up normally together. And so one's like Nobunaga and his demon wife, who's another boss, another level. And the other one's 2 like fucking samurai. And man, I was like, fuck. To get the trophy to beat all missions, it's not like all the ones on New Game Plus, but those 2 missions I had to beat. So I did it the day before yesterday. I fucking breezed through it. I was like, I leveled up probably more than I should have been because I played half a dozen levels or more in New Game Plus already, and then went back to, it's basically on the first game playthrough. At the end of it, they had bonus levels. But
in Mortar, sometimes you'd get attacked by like 6 or 7 captains at the same time.
Can you just run away?
You can if you're a bitch.
Or climb up and snipe.
Well, sometimes they'll climb after you now.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Can you knock them off easy enough though?
Well, no. Once you get up there, they're up there. The same thing with the Karagogs and stuff. They can climb walls and get on top of buildings and stuff now. It's tough.
So I think my next game is going to be honest, South Park. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I understand that. I think we're gonna watch. Are we gonna watch 3 Billboards this week?
Well, I want to watch Big Sick.
Big Sick. Is that nominated for Best Picture?
No. Screenplay?
Screenplay, yeah.
Not Best Picture?
No.
Too bad they didn't have an opening. Jerks.
And Ladybird.
Ladybug.
There was a ladybug in my truck today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Did it give you good luck?
No, I'm sick.
Was it a male ladybug?
Francis?
Yeah.
So,
I'd like to watch 3 Billboards. Is it going to be... It's a helicopter. Chop, 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 chop.
So what do you think of Wreck-It Ralph 2?
I think I was just about to say that.
Wreck-It Harder?
Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet? Or was it Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the... It was just Ralph Breaks the Internet. It looks cool. I'm excited. It was a good movie.
I'm excited because I like the character and stuff. I don't know about him just wandering through the internet. I imagine it's just a breaking off point to his, whatever
what the story's going to be.
Yeah.
It didn't show Fix-It Felix at all in the trailer.
You think he'll just be a little nod and not a main companion?
I don't know. I bet you Mario's in it. How much you want to bet Mario's in it?
Like as a cameo, like a main character?
A cameo.
Not probably they reference him. They have other characters.
I mean, they referenced him in the first one, but Nintendo wouldn't let him be in it.
That effect?
Yes.
Yeah, he said something about Mario being late to the
fashionably late, as usual.
But they let Bowser be in it.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I'm excited to see who actually does show up, especially if I don't know what's the most popular like
Candy Crush
iPad game or whatever.
Bet you Candy Crush is in there.
Yeah, or any of those Subway Surfers. Who knows what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was like, that would be cool. At least, and it'd bring kids in too. One, if they're like, I play that game.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, more kids. Yeah, probably. But I don't think with it being a Disney movie, you have to really work on
it resonate with
kids in the theater.
Are you surprised that Wreck-It Ralph 2 is coming out before a Frozen sequel?
No.
Why?
They're going to take their time with that
Did
stuff.
Wreck-It Ralph come out after or before Frozen, right?
Probably like a year before. It was the year before.
Okay.
But just with the popularity of Frozen.
Frozen's already had, what, 2...
Shorts?
Yeah.
And Wreck-It Ralph...
Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't know if that's a fact, but...
It just seems like
sure
with
helps.
Frozen being so big... I mean, Moana's better, but...
In due time.
I'm sure they'll all get sequels. I guess Tangled's not getting a sequel, but...
Aww.
Oh, it got its own show. That's
yeah, I was saying...
Trade-off.
Fuck, like, I loved How to Train Your Dragon, but what are there, been like 5 different shows?
Yeah.
They're Netflix shows, aren't they?
There's Riders of Berg and something else. You see them on Netflix all the time.
Yeah.
But they're under different categories. So I'm like, I think it's all the same voice actors too. I could be wrong. But I'm like, I'm not going to watch these shows as much as I like the movie.
I don't think all of those voice actors are like big actors. So I mean, that's a revenue stream that
they actually got. I'm guessing like Jonah Hill's not doing a voice for it.
It's easy to do voice.
Well, I know that for like the Tangled show, Mandy Moore is actually doing
Rapunzel.
Rapunzel's voice.
Okay, that's it.
So I mean,
now that she's hard up, I don't know what she's doing.
She's on This Is Us, isn't she?
Yeah, she's.
And that's
mom.
like isn't that like the biggest show out right now?
Show right now.
Never heard of it.
It's like.
What network is on?
I don't know,
ABC?
but it's like, remember when Modern Family, everybody was like talking about Modern Family nonstop?
Which I've never seen a minute of.
Me neither. But that's like this now, and it's supposed to be like super depressing and like
the dad for Killmonger is in it.
Is he?
Mm-hmm. He's a black guy. He's the black kid.
Wait, the dad of Killmonger?
Yeah.
Okay, is that what you call it? I said he was from the O.J. Simpson show. Mm-hmm. Did you say he was from something else at the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Black Panther was a good movie.
It was a good movie.
Yeah, I've never seen any of This Is Us either. Black Panther, third highest grossing Marvel movie of all time now.
Where's the sit behind? Avengers 1 and 2?
I haven't looked at the top worldwide gross for a little while. I'm going to do that real quick. Do you know what number 1 is?
It's the Civil War.
No, I'm talking... 4.
Oh, worldwide ever?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
It's easy.
Oh, it's Avatar.
Yeah. Do you know what number 2 is?
Titanic.
Is it Titanic?
Yeah.
Still? Jesus Christ.
James Cameron's just like locking that shit down.
A 97 movie, 20 years later, is still...
That's why they let James Cameron do whatever the hell he wants to.
Oh, yeah. That's why...
number 3, you want to take a guess?
Can you give me like a vein or like a genre?
It's not a comedy. Sorry.
It's all going to be like action, adventure, sci-fi, comic book.
It's not going to be a comic book.
God, if it's Fast and the Furious, I'd be upset.
Fast and the Furious is number...
6.
I know it's going to be top 10.
6.
Yay!
Furious 7.
Is this... Okay. Most Furious movie?
See, looking at this, it's... Number 3 is a really easy one, too.
Return of the King?
No, Return of the King at this point is way down.
Is it really?
23.
Return of the King is 17.
Oh, see, that upsets me with the Fast and Furious thing.
Well, the top 32 movies have all made over $1 billion.
Yeah, so it's not big whoop.
So what's number 3?
Is 3 a Marvel movie?
No.
No.
But 3 is you should know it.
Okay. Clue, maybe year? Can you give me that?
Recent.
A recent movie.
Yeah.
Big box office draw. Did we watch in theaters?
Yes. It's the biggest box office draw. Obviously not as big as Avatar, but it's a big one.
I cannot place anything.
I'm trying to like, we saw it. How many years ago? It help? I mean, we're all drawing.
2 years ago?
What came out 2 years ago? I don't know.
I guess it came out in 2015, which is still 2 years ago.
Was it Star Wars?
Yes.
Oh.
Force Awakens number 3?
Yep.
All time?
Yep.
Wow.
It's only the third movie to hit $2 billion.
Wow.
Number 4 is...
Good for them.
Owen Wilson here.
Wow. 6 was Furious 7. 4 is... You want to take a shot since we're actually just doing this now?
You got to provide us some type of...
direction.
2015.
Nice.
It was a reboot.
A reboot?
Yes.
20?
It rebooted the franchise.
Oh, Fantastic Beasts.
No.
No?
That's not even...
Oh.
It rebooted...
A franchise?
The franchise. The Mummy.
No.
Oh, God.
We gotta think of a whole bunch of stupid...
Jumanji's number 45 of all time right now.
Really?
Really? Wow.
921 million.
Robin Williams really killed it.
Aww.
Oh, no.
Number 5 is a Marvel movie.
Civil War.
Nope.
What?
Number 7 is a Marvel movie.
Civil War.
Nope.
Avengers?
Avengers is 5 and 7.
Avengers 2.
Age of Ultron.
So now you have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7.
What was a reboot in 2015?
It rebooted the franchise.
It.
No. It came out last year.
Yeah. The whole franchise, huh?
Yeah.
It needed a reboot?
Another one's coming out this year. I'll give you the rest. I want you to guess this specific one now because it should be fairly easy.
Come on, Katrina. Where we get some first?
Avatar, Titanic, Force Awakens, blank. The Avengers, Furious 7, Age of Ultron, Deathly Hallows Part 2 is 8, Last Jedi is 9, and Frozen is 10. Beauty and the Beast is 11. Wow.
Really?
Yo. Where does Alice in Wonderland sit?
I just saw it's 29.
The first one?
Yep.
I thought it was way higher than that. I thought it made bank.
Why?
Because it made bank when it came out, like for some odd reason.
Oh.
And then 2 failed. I know it made more than $1 billion.
It's okay. Do we own this movie?
I don't think so.
So
We saw it together. You probably didn't see it in theaters. I hope you've seen it.
I've never seen any Transformers.
It's not Transformers.
It's not Transformers. Because we stopped watching those a long time ago.
Yeah, see, somebody said it was the top 3. Maybe it's the top...
Is it a dumb action movie like is it Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
No.
Dumb action movie.
If Teenage Mutant
I never
Ninja
saw
Turtles
any
was
of those in
dumbass.
theaters.
I think that when it said that there's only... It's the 3rd highest grossing Marvel movie. I think it's the 3rd highest domestic grossing Marvel movie.
Fair enough. Am I close with Mutant Ninja Turtles?
No.
Is it a movie is it a movie like that? Big action?
That was a big action movie, but it wasn't like action like you're thinking.
Franchise action.
It had 3 movies previously. Hadn't come out in years. I don't think anybody expected it to do as well as it is. I wish this was live so we could broadcast it on Twitter and
Have people yell at us?
have people yell.
It's not James Bond, is it?
Nope.
Can't be.
It's an American movie?
Yeah, it's
Is
not
it set-
foreign.
Action.
Okay, is it set in another place in the world?
Yeah.
Sci-fi?
Nope.
Fantasy?
Not really.
So you think it's Star Trek?
No, I'm...
Okay.
This is fun. I like this.
It's like 20 questions, yeah. So it's set in another country, not United States.
Exactly.
In Britain?
Specifically, I don't know. I think it's a fictitious area.
Location?
Is it a period piece?
Nope. I mean, I could give you another hint about kind of the terrain it takes place in, but...
Terrain?
Leave it at that. It gives us enough questions.
You like that?
Terrain.
Silence.
I have no
the absolute
idea.
thing you want on a podcast is silence.
This is good because we're utterly confused.
It is driving me crazy.
We're-
I don't know.
We're all going to go, oh! So it's set nowadays or in the future?
It was set nowadays.
Is the main character...
Force Awakens is the #1 domestic grossing movie of all time.
Oh.
Above Avatar. Black Panther's number 20.
Is the main character a male?
Aren't they usually?
There are 2 main characters.
You see? There are 2.
One
Is
is
Pacific
male.
Rim?
Nope.
No?
There were 3 movies of that.
That didn't kick off a reboot, okay.
Hey, is that the original trilogy? Was that made in our lifetime?
Yep.
Ugh.
I saw the second one on opening day.
Action. Reboot. Fictitious terrain. A fictitious place, but with weird terrain.
You guys are going to be like, that's not an action movie.
Wait, you say it's not fantasy, right?
I mean, there's an element of fantasy, but not in the terms of like magical or anything.
Okay. I don't know why I'm thinking you're going to say The Hobbit. I don't know.
No.
Because I saw the second movie in theaters, and it takes place in supposed to be, old Europe.
Nope. But I am enjoying this. I was genuinely, I think everybody was genuinely surprised at how much it made. It made $1.6 billion worldwide. I mean, it made a lot of money.
And the original trilogy was made in our lifetime. You saw the second one in theaters. Do you own the original trilogy?
I do not, but I want to get it because I want to show Parker. The original one, you want me to give you that when it came out?
Sure.
Came out in 1993. And made a lot of money. It's
Oh, okay. Wait.
Okay, wait.
Yeah. No, okay.
You got it?
I got it. But let me see if all these things fit. Okay, so not... You say not in the U.S., but you said you don't know where it was.
Yeah.
But it's not quite across the ocean. Not, like, as far as I was thinking.
I mean, it's on, like, when I said terrain specifically, it's on...
I got it.
I have no idea.
I don't know. It has... You say sci-fi? I'm trying to...
I said it has elements of fantasy, but not magical.
I would say sci-fi.
Really?
We're not thinking the same thing, I hope?
Well,
Or not really sci-fi.
What's your guess? I have no clue.
What do you call it? Science fiction? Like, because you use science?
I guess it is.
Okay. Well, you tell who directed the original, and then...
Steven Spielberg directed the original, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
he directs a lot of movies.
Yeah, but in 1993. 1994.
Okay.
I
would have been
one
in
of the best
third, fourth
movies
grade.
ever.
It is one of the best movies ever made.
The sequels were less than, but okay.
You got to
Like
get
Jurassic
it on...
Park or
Yeah.
Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the number 4. That took a while.
Yeah.
Katrina's not
Yeah,
amused.
No.
I feel like that's science fiction rather
I
than
guess.
sci-fi because
I would say that's an action movie. I wouldn't.
Said it was an action movie.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But you said that we wouldn't think it was one.
Well, I mean, it's debatable. I mean...
Isla de la Suerte, what they call it? For some reason, I watch a lot of YouTube videos. It's
For some reason?
De Nuba?
that was like one of
Yeah.
uh,
The premise of the new one looks stupid.
to save the okay. A couple things. I have a couple of Jurassic Park related stories. They announced the third one, the release date
When is
on
it?
Twitter. It's like June 22nd,
19.
2021.
Real quick, did you see that James Gunn announced that Baby Groot isn't the original Groot? The first Groot died, and this isn't
It's
like...
a seedling.
Yeah.
No, but that's cool.
Okay, I was like...
It makes the sacrifice all the more better. That he just dies and gives rebirth. It's kind of like a phoenix.
Phoenix? Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to actually teach it how to do things. He's not going to just know.
Yeah.
Which makes sense for them trying to get him to spit out a freaking bug.
What were we going to say? Jurassic Park? They announced the third
Okay,
one?
so people listen. I see a collection of people trolling whoever puts it out.
This reminds me
Universal.
that Mark Hamill liked one of my tweets.
Whoop whoop.
Yeah.
Robert
you
was
like
very
that?
excited.
I was.
What tweet was it?
Some guy posted it said something along the lines of he tagged Mark Hamill and James Gunn saying that Mark Hamill needed to be in Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
And you said,
And no, James Gunn responded to that guy and said, I'd be more than happy to meet with Mark Hamill. I believe we're neighbors. And Mark Hamill responded to him on Twitter. And this was a Twitter exchange between James Gunn and
Mark Hamill.
And I just hit reply and said, this is awesome. This made my day. Whatever. And Mark Hamill liked it. I was like, Mark Hamill saw one of my tweets.
Nice.
Yay. Anyways, Jurassic Park.
well, wow, James Gunn tweeted a bunch of stuff about people getting on.
Chris Pratt
Chris
for
Pratt's
just
case.
saying he was praying for Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
What did I...
Anytime James Gunn goes on a rant, I always appreciate he's one of those people like you.
Yeah.
I feel the same way he does.
Yeah.
And he
Oh, yeah.
says it so elegantly and like owns so many people in the process.
Like, I'm not religious, but if somebody said we're praying for me, I understand that that's
It's a gesture.
Yeah, it's a gesture.
It's not like calling down the Almighty to summon.
That's what they believe, and they're doing.
Yeah, and James Gunn put it so well, and he's like, Chris Pratt doesn't need my help, but I'm gonna just jump in. And he's done a couple. I can't remember what the other shit was,
It's been quite a few things.
but I'm a big James Gunn fan. Outside of his movies,
He used to be married. I just found out today he was married to Jenna Fisher, who plays Pam on The
I know
Office,
that's interesting.
or Dewey Cox's wife, whatever you want to
Yeah,
refer to her
it
as.
didn't work out,
No.
huh? Jurassic Park. People lost their minds that the sequel didn't come out. Jurassic World, and then we announced the third one, and the second one, like not a super spoiler. You assume it's not going to end with all the dinosaurs going extinct, but the tagline is, or basically, we got to rescue these dinosaurs before they go extinct again. But be careful because they can make us extinct. Playing. But then they announced the third one. It's like, well, I guess the animals aren't really going extinct. We have to worry about the second one. Just skip that one. Wait till the third one comes out. But I watch a lot of YouTube videos. In lieu of probably watching TV shows, I just put on YouTube and just watch thingy, whatever. And somehow I got linked up somebody who's like, I think he's obsessed with Jurassic Park or the theory, like just anything Jurassic Park related, including. So I watched a couple like how it was supposed to be shot. Just I guess in an interview recently, Samuel L. Jackson said he was supposed to have filmed his death scene in Jurassic Park, except there was a real hurricane on Hawaii where they're filming, so his shots that he was going to shoot got canceled. I guess.
So he can still be in it.
Well, you see his dead severed arm, and
do you? I don't remember the first one.
Yeah, well, so
it's been probably 3 or 4 years since I watched it.
It plays out that he has to go reboot the generators. After a couple hours, what's her name and the raptor hunter guy we gotta go reboot it. So they go out through the raptor infested area, and she makes it there. He gets killed in the meantime while she's trying to flip the switches, and the kids are trying to hop the fence. Timmy gets shocked off.
Yeah.
She actually we're back in business. Samuel Jackson, severed arms, falls down on her.
I don't remember that.
She gets freaked out, and then I don't know if she hears a raptor in there. I assume I can't remember. But they show her hobbling out, up the staircase, trying to shut the door real quick before something gets her. And the guy digs through the screenplay and the storyboards, and there was actually supposed to be a death scene where Samuel Jackson would have went in and tried to turn on the power, thought he had escaped a raptor by going down on a lower catwalk, but it ended up just jumping down behind him and getting him. But even more so when the lady doctor or she a doctor? Yeah. Was in there. Not only does arm fall on her, and they actually had a prosthetic too. His severed leg was on the ground, and she tripped over it, which is why she fell and sprained her leg, kinda. Which is why she's hobbling for the rest of the movie, and that wasn't filmed or show. At least it wasn't edited in. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. I don't know why she hurt her leg.
I mean, you don't need that to just assume that okay, these people are pretty beat up and
yeah. You figure because she did a sprint before and she hopped a log. I always figured she overextended or something.
Have you happened to see the Target exclusive Jurassic Park sexy Malcolm figure?
Is he laying
he's laying like that?
Bandaged his stomach.
Yeah.
There was another thing. You remember Jurassic Park 2 well enough? Lost World.
Yes, took place in San Diego, so of course.
Yeah. Never thought about this in years until I watched a YouTube video on it 2 days ago. But do you remember they were transporting the T-Rex on a boat? Mm-hmm. That boat crashed into the San Diego harbor.
Yeah.
And everybody was killed on board.
But the thing was still locked up?
Yeah. It was discussing film theories behind that people thought. I thought about it with my brothers, but people thought the theory that raptors were on board or something. And the best a guy could come up with that is...
It's going to be so hard to find.
Yeah.
T-Rex killed everybody, including the guy who's holding on to the steering wheel inside the cabin. And then went down to the cargo holding bay and then somebody hit the door. And the best he could glean from it was there's stuff in the script about... And whether it's from the book, too. When I
read the first one.
Oh, really? When the Master Hunter tranquilized it, that he was afraid of going into shock or something because of too much poison or whatever it was, trank. And actually on the ship that the people revealed later in the book or screenplay that it stopped breathing because it was trank too hard, and they tried to give it adrenaline or something to wake it up, and that's why it was on a rampage and wasn't really eating, it was just killing people. And I was like, okay, well, shit, that would have been better in the movie.
It still would have been bad.
I remember, I think The Lost World is... I've probably... But it's
I remember enjoying it when I was a kid.
It's like Temple of Doom. It's not a bad movie, and there are fucking scenes in it that are awesome. But, I mean, I remember having a problem with...
Vince Vaughn being an action star?
Because he wasn't in it terribly a lot. I mean...
He did send an insurance plan.
Yeah, me. But, the whole scene where the fucking thing's going off the cliff...
Yo, that was excellent.
That's fucking... But I hated the lady, Julianne Moore in the movie. Just...
Do you hate all actresses?
No, I just hated her character.
What actresses do you like?
Basically, she got all the characters. Anytime a character puts them in trouble, and don't do that, bitch. Don't do it. Don't fucking take the T-Rex baby.
Yeah, I can't.
And then also Malcolm Reynolds or whatever. His name Malcolm Reynolds, Malcolm something. His daughter coming on adventure is oh, there's somebody have to babysit. But it usually happens when we have kids in the movie. Except the first, I think the kids have gotten progressively worse in Jurassic Park. Or first Jurassic Park, they're fine. They actually do a good part. They have a fucking cool chase scene all by themselves in the kitchen. Second movie, have the daughter.
What's the problem with the kids in Jurassic World?
I wish they weren't in. I wish it was just the story of the adults.
But then who would they have gone to rescue? Without the kids on it, they would have just left the island.
I figure like all Jurassic Parks figure they need kids to rescue because Jurassic Park 3 needed. Yeah, but I want to abandon that. I'm not a big fan of child actors unless like 15% of them. But that was not my biggest complaint. But when I watched Jurassic World, all the scenes where they're in as the kids alone, not really into. Like them hot wiring a car, that
was the stupidest part of the whole movie. And we were like, we need to stay together for survival. The last line of the movie was awful.
I'm not putting down saying that you probably had to have the movie if you're telling it that way with kids, but I like all the other parts with adults better. I don't need kids fucking escaping dinosaurs. I've had enough of it.
That would be a cool ride, though, in that little ball driving around the dinosaurs.
What do they call it? A something sphere? Okama Game
Jimmy
Sphere?
Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon sphere.
That was him, right? Wasn't he?
He was doing the tutorial.
Yeah, he was doing the tutorial for the...
It's been watching it, yeah.
We saw it in New Orleans.
We did.
It's funny when people play themselves in things, because we forgot about when Black Panther had, like, Joe Rogan, and his podcast in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so meta. Like, a lot of times when they have, like, real, like, CNN hosts or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And things, but fucking Joe Rogan and his podcast in on it.
Like, yeah. I mean, it's cool that they do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It grounds it a little bit.
Next week we're going to be... Well, we're going to have to use the bank episode next week. Katrina's out of town.
Perfect.
Out of town.
But the week
after...
after...
We'll call it a man episode.
There you go.
We'll talk about man stuff.
Actually, I'm taking the laptop.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I have a class.
We'll do it without recording.
There you go. You can do that.
We have a comic to read and review from an indie comic company.
Woohoo!
What's the indie comic company?
I honestly think he's just self-publishing a book.
What's the name of the comic?
It is called... Give me a second. I'll edit this silence.
There's a lot of stuff going on, because I think, Oblivion Song comes out, and Extremity ends next week.
The Adventures of Captain No-Nose?
It's called Vengeance, Nevada, #1. So we will be talking about Vengeance, Nevada, #1.
Is that like 3 billboards in Wyoming?
Missouri.
Missouri?
Yeah. As they say on the phone.
I heard that that's an amazing movie, but it's one of the most depressing movies ever made, and there's no like feel-good stuff about it. So it's like,
really,
it's pretty.
Well, it's about a murder, and she's trying to.
It was when she's just fucking going on a tirade. It looks like funny.
Tirade.
Tide Pod.
Tide Pod.
Let's eat them.
So we'll be talking about that next week, and we can print up some Oscar stuff right after this, and we'll do an Oscar. And Vengeance, Nevada, and Oblivion Song.
And Extremity.
Oblivion what?
Oblivion Song. New comic coming out next month.
Next week.
These have weird names.
Oblivion Song? It's a new Robert Kirkman's new book. Of course we're going to talk about it. Yeah, bite your lip, motherfucker.
He'll make you read it when you get here.
Yeah. So, yeah, we've got stuff in the works, too, so we'll be having some guests. Let us know. Let me know on Twitter or Facebook or whatever who your favorite guest is, so we can have them more often. I know we all enjoyed having Alan on last week, so that was fun. We haven't had Travis on in a while, or Anthony on in a while, or Brian on in a while. I guess we haven't had any, but Brian's banned. But
yeah.
So
I haven't seen anybody in a long time.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you've seen Brian recently.
Yeah.
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 So that's this week's episode.
I'm doing his podcast now.